I have a burning desire to get good at golf. Hello YouTube, I've got another practice video today. I'm excited to share this with you because of a lot of reasons. It's not so much that the technique is good or my swing or whatever like that. It's about the fact that I'm following the old program called Practice Like a Pro. So back in 2014, I was really bummed. My lowest round was 74, and I hadn't shot lower than 74 in 3 years. I was like, man, I've been stuck here for years. And I was like, how am I going to change this? So I started hitting a yellow golf ball. I changed the golf clubs in my bag. I drove a different way to the golf course to practice. I started with putting, chipping, and then I rewarded myself with ball striking on the range. And in 6 weeks, I shot 70. So basically, this last couple of weeks, my daughter Evie has been in junior golf camp. So I've had to drop her off at the golf course at 8 a.m. And she's out there practicing until I pick her up at 1 p.m. And I'm like, man, she's practicing more than I do. I need to go to a junior golf camp. But this week, what I decided to do was drop her off and then start putting. Okay, so it's really hot in California this time of year. It's nice and cool in the morning. So I started putting, and if I can sneak in some chipping and then maybe hit a few golf balls and all of that. Well, yesterday it got to the point that it was 3:45 in the morning and my eyes popped open and I'm like, is it time to go practice? Is it time to go practice? And I couldn't go back to sleep, so I just started working on my computer until, about 5:15, 5:30. I started to see a little bit of sunlight outside. I got dressed, a cup of coffee, and I drove to the golf course, and I started practicing about 6:15 in the morning. And I've been listening to Bob Rotella, okay? The great sports psychologist, golf psychologist, all those great things. And this was recommended to me. My buddy Danny sent me an audio book called Make Your Next Shot Your Best Shot. So I pop in my earphones in the morning and I'm just putting. Okay. And it's pretty awesome. It's a wonderful book. I highly recommend it. It's like having Bob Rotella as your personal coach. It's really kind of crazy when you think about it. But the point of it is I'm ready to see finally how good I can get at golf. You've seen 11, 12 years of my evolution. I've gone from average to very good at golf. But as I look at the guys that are better than me that I play with in the skins game, I wonder, are they really that much better than me? I mean, yes, they are that much better than me because their game is so more well-rounded. But I think I can do that. If I actually took the time to work on my short game and my putting and my pitch shots and sand shots and all the things a real golfer does, maybe I could get really good. Maybe I could be great. And that all remains to be seen, but it all starts with your process and developing positive patterns of practice and wise routines that you really work on the things that you need the most work on. And, Bob Rotella, he's worked with his clients have won something like 80 something major championships. So it's really, really been eye-opening. So what I want to share with you today is my morning practice routine. And all I did was chip and then hit a pitching wedge on the practice range. And so I hit a couple of 8-irons at the end. But really, all I did was hold one golf club yesterday for 2.5 hours. It was a pitching wedge. And I want to be great. And it's been great to be able to play and have fun and like, oh, I'm happy-go-lucky Christo. I'm just out here to have some fun. Maybe I'll shoot a good round today. You know, let's see. Let's see where this goes. I'm committed to it, and I hope I can stay patient enough to continue this. We're going to see. We're going to see what results come out of this, but I'm excited about golf as ever. Now, just so you know, the next MSC Intensive is September 3rd and 4th. It's going to be here at Eaton Canyon in Pasadena, California. It's 2 days, 18 hours of OTT swing drills and practice. I will have at least one guest that will be joining me to coach with me. Sometimes it's two. Who knows? Maybe it's even more next time. But hit me up, Christo, at My Swing Evolution if you want to come to the next OTT Miracle School. And guys, the over-the-top Miracle Swing, it's changing thousands of lives. I'm telling you, the reason why I'm doing this is because of my over-the-top move. I finally have the confidence in my swing to really commit myself and see where this game can take me. So the over-the-top Miracle Swing is great. MSE TV is even better because it has the OTT Miracle Swing, plus the drills that I'm discovering along the way, plus the things I'm working on in short game, and my entire evolution in premium content. Interviews with Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, my fitness program that I'm doing right now, everything. So at any rate, let's dig into today's practice session. And this one I'm going to talk you through. Good morning, guys. It's a 6:15. I'm out here and the dew is still on the practice green. And this is the 4th day in a row that I've come out in the morning to practice, but this is the earliest I've ever gotten up. I was up at 3:45 this morning. I was working on my computer waiting for the sun to come up. But I don't know, I have a burning desire to get good at golf. And a big part of it is the breakthrough with my swing mechanics. And I'm still refining this move, but I'm hitting it the best of my life. And finally I feel like I don't have to obsess over my swing mechanics, but it's time to work on my short game and really see where I can take this game. So I appreciate you guys being on the journey with me, and let's see where we can go with this thing. All right, so I haven't been on a practice green when there's dew on it since I was a kid. I remember when I used to play in tournaments as a youngster, it would be like this. But here I am, just trying to figure it out, guys. So you'll notice those last 3 chips. There's a big hill, and I didn't make it over on the second one. It's pretty cool. I noticed that it's like shot tracer with a chip. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is super duper cool. So that was pretty good. Almost chipped that one in. Now this one's further to the left, and by the time it catches the hill, it rolls down, and it's still only about 4 or 5 feet away. But one thing I've learned about these multi-tier greens is essentially you just play the shot to the edge of the tier, and then the tier takes it down, usually to near the hole. So I'm trying to walk in my same steps so that I leave as much dew on the putting surface as possible to be able to see where my ball's going. So here we can see several lines that I've been playing with and different speeds. So that was a really good chip shot. Now this one I just didn't give it enough steam. And wow, you can see the variation on where those different balls wound up. But the thing that's really interesting is, you know, all these chip shots are makeable for a pretty easy up and down. So now it's time to head out to the driving range and I'm really working on staying over it and covering the ball. You know, you see my little OTT loop that I'm doing. So the big mystery is if the club head feels like it's going over, you know, how do you compress it and have the ball fly straight? And so there's a whole journey to be done with that. Some people, they just pick it up right away and they can just hit that sweet spot, that, you know, and feel that compression. A lot of people, you know, pulls are a part of it, but, you know, I'm doing a really good job lately of fixing that and feeling like I can keep that pressure on the shaft. So basically, if you're not in pull territory, you're not going to be able to keep pressure on the shaft so that you get that dynamite compression. But like my buddy John says, he's like, you hit one good one and you're like, that's it, that's a good one, you know, and then you hit 10 more shots and, oh, that's a good one. So you kind of have to feel your way through that, at least to get, you know, that's what I'm experiencing. Now I'm hitting a lot of good ones. I still, you know, I'm still not Hogan. You know, by the way, I am still doing all the Hogan stuff. But the thing is, I'm not trying to look like Hogan. I'm trying to swing like Hogan. And the difference is that I want to be able to have, I'm using all of his cues and tips and ideas to hit the ball as well as I can. You know, the way that I shift my weight, the way that I have my body torqued at address, the way I want that handle going left past the ball. These are things that are worth pursuing. You know, but what is gone is me trying to be an imitation. You know, this is my golf swing. It's my golf game. And thank God for Mr. Hogan's inspiration for bringing me this far. Now, this camera shot is a front shot that one of my subscribers on the last video said, I'd love to see you from the front. And I decided I would do this because it was so early in the morning that nobody else was out here. It's difficult if the range is full because you need to have the stall or two stalls in front of you open so that you can set up your camera. You know, but here, you know, I'm just trying to cover the ball. And I can still be more over it and more left, but I'm hitting the ball very, very well during this practice session. And I also don't need to be so hypercritical. That's another thing I'm learning from Bob Rotella. Stick with the work, stick with the process. It's really about getting the ball in the hole, and there's a million things I want to tell you guys about. I'm just on fire inside. But right now, you know, it's just about making a pattern for practice. So here's a little 3/4 front shot. Pretty happy with my weight shift, you know, so I turn into my right leg like it's a post, and then I come over the top of the ball. But it's important to have some lateral side bend so that you don't just pull the ball 20 yards left of your target. Like, you can go over the top and just, you know, hit a dead straight pull. But there's a way to do it. Like, I'm hitting a cut shot here. In fact, this morning, that's all I hit was cut shots. And it was glorious after a lifetime of just hitting hooks and draws. you know, I can understand why Mr. Hogan would want to hit fades. And I'll tell you something funny. While I was hitting, I began to notice that, you know, not every shot's perfect, but I think hitting my fades as opposed to draws, I find that the dispersion is minimal, or it's less. You know, when I'm hitting a draw, you know, there's the ball that doesn't draw, that's out to the right about 10 yards, and then there's the ball that hooks like 20 yards to the left. When I'm hitting cut shots, that doesn't really happen. So once again, I'm taking advantage of having an open practice range so I can move this camera around to get several different looks at my swing. And you know, the funny thing is, I don't really see things that I need to work on. I'm still tinkering, still focused on alignment and very subtle pressures, but the evolution is largely over. Now it's about dialing it in and getting really, really good with my scoring clubs. I feel I hit the ball pretty well off the tee. I'm 2 levels up with my driver off the tee. If I can get these scoring clubs dialed in and get my putter and short game going, I think that I can. I know I can shoot in the 60s. That's going to be the next phase. It's also about dropping my handicap and having, you know, just less of those blow-ups, being more consistent. You know, how good can I be? How far can I take this? So here I am back to the front. And at this point, I feel like my release is pretty Hogan-y. I think this swing looks very Hogan-esque. Now that swing was curious, so I'm going to slow it down. Look how long and low the divot is. Well, this is the best I've ever swung in my life. I'm so honored that you guys have watched this whole evolution. Come on out to the Over the Top Miracle School September 3rd and 4th, and I hope you hit them long and hit them straight. Do you think you picked up some yardage since we've been working on this stuff?
On the driver, at least 50 to 60 yards.
It's dynamite.
It's crazy.
I want you to swing over the top. You heard me, now hear me out.
My swing is feeling effortless with power.
Don't try to rebuild your swing if you're over the top. Learn to use it to your advantage. What do you notice about it?
It's just easy. It's just easy. I don't have a whole bunch of thoughts, just one. Just come inside, hit down.
Dropping it under causes pushes and hooks, and it almost ruined my back. When I started my swing evolution, I was a terrible golfer. Today, my channel has over 25 million views, and I even got to swing as Ben Hogan on the Golf Channel. Click the link below to experience your very own miracle. Transform your game at myswingevolution.com.